Hello, this is Candice Moffett, and we are on the call today. I have my guest here, Antonio Knox. I call him the insurance man. So we're going to get some information about, healthcare, about life insurance, and why we should get these things. These are important things that we need to have in our lives so that we can thrive and live and be in good health. And so I really want this to be more of an educational show. I'll be asking them questions about what do we do? How can we have better insurance? How do we not pay that crazy deductible, right? So I'm excited to have him on the show. So Mr. Antonio Knox, tell me about yourself and, how long have you been in this insurance world, and tell us a little more about your company.
Yeah, well, first of all, Candice, thank you. I am grateful. I'm humble. Thank you for allowing me to come on your show so that I can share and talk about what I love to do. So I really appreciate that. And a short cap, my name is Antonio Knox. I am the principal founding agent for One Community Insurance Agency, which I founded the agency back in 2022, which I have been in insurance since around about 2017. It's kind of, in the beginning was a journeyman where I was with company A, B, C, and then just after a couple of years being in the industry, I took it upon myself to say, hey, let me create an agency so that I can service clients more fuller. And that is what brought me where I'm at now with One Community Insurance Agency.
Okay, all right. And one thing that we do on the call is we talk about purpose. And so this being your purpose, helping people, I literally say the call, where is God calling you to, right?
Gotcha.
And so God called you to this insurance world because I think that, in working with you in the past, I've seen you be very thorough and walk through plans with people and help them to understand their plan. So when it comes to community insurance, is that how you say it? Yeah, so when it comes to your business, what is it that you specifically do in your company?
No, absolutely, and which I think that's a great question. And my purpose, which is to be of service and to service at a higher level, right? So it doesn't matter what I'm doing, whereas my job is to service, where I think what I do is going to reflect my level of service. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why, where like a lot of things I do, like I just do it from that mindset. So it's not specifically saying God called me towards insurance. If we talk on that brand, God just called me to be a service, right? And I just apply that, what I do, I always do it exceptionally because I am a high service. So, I like insurance. Insurance is one of those things where like, I think a lot of people, like they hear words, right? Where insurance is a risk mitigator, right? It mitigates risk, right? So from a standpoint, I talk about risk in terms of, hey, do you have $100,000 or, funds laying around if you were to get sick or somebody in your family gets sick? So like I don't lead with a product name because like I think a lot of times people are super confused. Like there's so much information out here where I think it's clouded, where a lot of people, they think they know what they doing or getting, and then they go and it's not exactly what they want, or it's not solving their problem. So I really don't even talk about insurance. I'll talk about people problems, and we figure out how to solve their solutions.
Right.
Because that's called a need-based analysis, right? So people like, I want this and I want that. And it's like, why you want that? Well, because my neighbor got that, because I saw this TikTok person and they told me it was cool. So it's kind of like, okay, all right, so if I'm going to help you, let's start at the bottom so that you are educated and you are informed so that you can make a informed decision. And, I never make a decision for anyone. I simply help and assist.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so when it comes like, even for me, right, I'm self-employed. So with getting health insurance, it's scary. It's a scary process, I think, for a lot of people with so many things changing in the world. And so how would you walk someone who may be self-employed through the process of finding health insurance? Of course, we get calls. I get calls from the marketplace and things like that. But, with you, like you're sitting down and asking them to say, hey, I need insurance for my family.
Right.
Like, how would you go about doing that?
No, yeah. So, in which I think we live in a country where anything service, you can do it yourself. Where that's the question that I ask people just to make sure that I can add the value. So anything service, you can go to a website and do it yourself. Now, you have to make sure or at least understand what you're doing. And quite frankly, I don't think a lot of people understand it. So my service that I offer is let me educate you so you can know what you're doing, because I have clients come to me all the time, in which we do a lot of marketplace insurance amongst a lot of other type of health insurance as well, where it's Medicare, right? One thing I know for certain is that insurance for people who don't read on insurance every day about laws, about the big beautiful bills, about things changing, it is foreign. You know, like I remember I had a client, like I think she had like 3 doctor's degree, and she came to me and she was like, hey, like I'm extremely smart, but I spent like 8 hours on my insurance and I got it wrong. And then she came to me, and then I got some very important information from her. And then within 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes from 8 hours.
Right, yeah. So it don't have anything to do with a knowledge base, but it has everything to do with, you know, like I have helped hundreds of people. Like we have helped hundreds of people. And that's what we do every day. Kind of like that off mic conversation that we were talking about, you know, me fixing my car, which, you know, like I remember I changed the spark plug. I got on YouTube, and you know, I got on YouTube. I went to Home Depot. I got some tools and all that good stuff. I was like, yeah, you know, I want to be self-sufficient. I'm going to fix my car, and it was like 10 o'clock that morning. I got that car fixed around about 9 o'clock that night. Like I had to go to the flashlight, and that just case in point to show where if you let the professionals come and diagnose you and do what they do all the time, your life would be a whole lot easier. And I think, you know, that's not even applying with insurance. That's just across the board. So it's like, could you do it yourself? Absolutely, you could. Like people ask me that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, so just go here and you can do it yourself. And then they keep on asking me questions,
but
like,
literally,
no, like you go there and do it yourself, right? And not to be like that, but just to be like, yes, the way this country is set up, you can do things yourself. It's just that now you placing the onus. Do you have all the information to make the best decision for yourself?
And that's the thing, like with the insurance, even me doing it myself or signing up for the marketplace, you don't read the fine print. You don't see that there's a $20,000 deductible. Like, how long is it going to take you to meet that when you don't even go to the doctor like that? You know, so being able to work with you would mean that I might say, hey, like, I don't go to the doctor like that, but I do need it for, you know, my daughter or my husband or whatever. And so being able to find a plan that's catered to me and my family, that's something that you would be able to do.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking about healthcare, and we're talking about life insurance. But going back to the healthcare piece, right? Where do you see it going, like as far as with the U.S.? I know there's been so many changes, right, with healthcare and getting healthcare. So if somebody is uninsured, like what should they do?
That's a great question. I think that this country is on the right track when it comes to healthcare. I think there's so many different variables at play where it's not a black and white solution, right? And we are on a great path. If someone had all the answers, either side, right? You know, talk about politics, you know, Democrat, Republic, whatever, everything in between. If it was such a easy solution, it would have been solved. But like I think something like where we're at now, like we are on a great path towards that. I guess that you can call it healthcare for all, or you know, making sure that, you know, health insurance is affordable. A lot of those different things, because, you know, quite frankly, looking on the world stage, there's a lot of great developed countries that do have healthcare for all. And I think that is something that we are aiming to get for everyone here.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I think about that too. I mean, I still see a lot of people on social media that are going, like, transferring into, well, let me go back to the healthcare piece. So when I think about that, you know, I think about there being, like, stipulations too, right? Like, there's an open enrollment. I don't always know, like, how can we find out when open enrollment is? Or, like, when, you know, what can we do to better, like, I know we should hire you. That's the first thing, right? So because you're knowledgeable, you understand, you're the professional, that knows about the insurance. So like, how do we know when to go to open enrollment, or should we just like get in touch with you and then, you help us and stay on track? Or like, if somebody's uninsured right now and they don't have any help, do they have to wait until open enrollment?
Right. No. Well, so the federal government have great programs. Like I give them that. Like they have some great programs. Like I think one thing that the government don't do a good job at is marketing those programs, which I kind of think that's on purpose, where it then give agencies like myself the opportunities to be more facing and letting people know when open enrollments, because I mean they actually do and have did a great job with marketing. I mean, they got a lot of great commercials. Like you put your information in certain things, you will get text messages. So they actually really do a good job. I just think that like when you need something and then you start seeing it more. Right. Whereas I think people will place the onus on themselves trying to get it themselves, and it becomes one of those things where it's like, I get it tomorrow.
Gotcha.
I get it the next week.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'll pass this. So it's kind of like, find a broker like myself and say, okay, look, I just need to get on the calendar. Right. And not think about it. Yeah. Instead of trying to consume a lot of information, because sometimes what was true, like I had, have some clients, like with the big signing of the big beautiful bill last year, it has changed the landscape of ACA.
Right.
Quite frankly, like in more good ways than not. So, but just kind of like really tighten it up from a regulation standpoint, so that it's can rid out some unethical people. Because I think before it was just it was too many opportunities for just bad actors to be a part of it. Yeah. Whereas now those things has been tightened up. So like I think that was like extremely great for people to not only have better service, but to also have a level of protection that I'm super glad that the government did.
Okay, gotcha. So if somebody is looking, they could come to you and get some advice on what program to maybe sign up for, just until they can wait. I think we talked about like the open enrollment. I mean, when is that? Is it like one time per year?
Right, yeah. So like it then goes back to like having that conversation, doing that fact find, right? Like I'm probably talking to probably like 10 people right now where it's like, unfortunately, they don't qualify for a special enrollment period. So so next thing will be gap coverage, right? Okay. Short-term plans, right? Gotcha. So there are markets and there are opportunities whenever you don't qualify for a short-term plan period where you got something in place. So if or when that thing happened, your family is not going to go bankruptcy. So it's not black and white. It's gray, and it's just more so you finding your guy, your gal, your company, what the case may be, and then just having the trust that they are the professional and they do their due diligence and make sure that you don't necessarily have to think about all the nuts and bolts, but whenever you do talk with them, they can tell you things and fully explain it to you, not through reading something online and it sounds like a lawyer wrote it, right? And you're like, did it go forward or backwards, or did it right? So explain it in a way where they meet you where you are, so that you can fully understand what you got.
Okay,
so,
that makes sense. I like that. And I think about health insurance and life insurance, right? Because it's something that you need to have to stay well. Whether you go to the doctor every day or not, like just being able to have something in place to say that if I had to go to the doctor, it's not going to be a problem. Even with me being a mental health therapist, like, I deal a lot with the insurance world and, talking to different plans and things like that, and even have like a full-time biller just because of the fact that I'm not a professional in that, but someone else is. And I think going back to like you fixing your car, like let the professional handle it, because I think you said it took you all day, might have took a mechanic like maybe an hour or two, 30 minutes. And then even just like not wasting your time, not stressing yourself to the point where you don't know what you received when it comes to you signing up for a plan. The next thing I want to shift to is like life insurance. That has been a ongoing thing. It's
funny with life insurance. Look, I got into insurance through life insurance, and I think life insurance is a great tool. I am extremely good at life insurance. I mean, that's something we don't leave with. Like, we are really good at it. Like, my explanation, like being a broker, I'm unbiased, right? Well, like, I always tell people where there's two extremes in life insurance. There's term and there's whole, right? All right, so, and here's how the market goes, right? Life insurance is probably like one of the most regulated industry in this country, rightfully so. So, and this is my perspective and how I look at it, right?
Okay.
There's two extremes, term and the whole, and it's like everything in between.
Gotcha.
And then around there, there's a lot of different companies that's on top of it that may have a different philosophy in certain things, whereas I don't look at, company A or company B perspective. I just have companies, right?
Yeah.
So that I can match whatever the solution is, what you trying to attain to it, and don't get into, marketing certain products, certain type of way where, it sounds good, sounds flashy.
Right.
It creates a lot of sensationalism on social media. More times than not, it creates a whole bunch of confusion.
Yeah.
And so,
Because my thing is like, why do you feel like people don't get it? Why do you feel like they, especially in the Black community, like what have been your experience with people not getting it?
well, I mean, me, just because we service everyone, so like
Yeah.
I think not only in the Black community, I mean, like a lot of my clients, clients look like me, don't look like me,
Yeah.
what the case. So I focus on facts. So
Right.
like I think we focus on facts, and I focus on like a level of service, where one thing I always see is like different people experience the same thing. So it's just not
Black and white.
not black and white. So it just whether you get it or you don't, right? So in which I just been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to service people, and whenever I service them, they just like, oh wow, thank you for explaining that to me in a way. So like I don't get into like saying like the other stuff, because it's just not really service to people, but just more so I spend my time building myself so that whenever I do have the opportunity, I can fully focus on solving your problem. And that's one of the reasons that I continue to grow and will continue to grow.
You have that different mindset. And I
Right.
think about if you had to educate someone on, because I know like a lot of people my age, when I ask them, they don't have it. They just don't have it unless they've had a significant experience in their lives where they've seen someone have to scrape up this money for the funeral, or they've seen someone die and then there's no money left behind. Like, unless you've seen that or experienced that, sometimes people don't know that they should have it. So in educating people today, like, what would you say, why should they get life insurance?
Life insurance can be a emotional sell, and that's something I try not to do. Like there's different companies where, and so like I actually do the opposite of that. Like I don't like to come and pull those emotional strings, because like I think like that's just not my point.
Gotcha.
So like I just focus strictly on education.
Okay.
And not the wow and the woo and the sensationalism that can come behind it, that sometimes people and companies leave with, where it's still not being received. I mean, I just tell people it's a great product. It's a reason why it's been around for 100 years. It's a reason why this company used it. Like, it's not in any secret box where people can't attain it, where certain people can't attain it. It's not. It's really not. Like, people will make you believe.
And they can make it affordable. Like,
Nah,
it's not
yeah. So
something
it's one of those things. Like, it's many different companies out here. No one company is better than the next company. They all got their own little angle or their own philosophy. Like I always tell people, because people will come like, "Hey, what's the best?" It's like that's, if you want to know the best, just go TikTok and someone would tell you what's the best.
But I guess it goes back to your point of like, you have to find what's the best for you. Like, it's catered to that person.
Right, yeah.
Like, if you find what's best for your family.
Right.
Because there's so many different avenues and plans and things like that.
Right. So
Yeah.
as you notice, like I never start with the product.
Yeah.
I start with the person, right?
Right,
And that's pretty amazing. So I'm not saying, hey, and I'm trying so hard not to say certain companies' names, because I don't want nobody to, but anyhow, like I never leave with the product. You know what I'm saying? Like I lead with the person.
Yeah.
Because as a broker, just being fully transparent, I don't care about the carriers, right? And like
Care
people
about
hear that where it's like, I only care about your solution, your problem in trying to solve. And so understand that I'm coming from that perspective, not the carrier perspective. Let's say carrier A over here, and they only do this one type of product, right? And and not saying any names, where it's like, and then what they don't do, and so it's kind of like love and hate. So that type of stuff make me cringe. And like early on in my career, like I used to feel a certain way about that, but like, I think as I grew and mature, and like I don't, but like I still like, when people, we are at a world, we got AI, we got Google. So I always tell people, even when I give people information, I say, man, like go out there and fact check, or like get your own stuff, like confidently, right?
Yeah.
And because I'm fully confident in my needs-based analysis in terms of how I identify their problem and needs, and not, coming from a company A, B perspective.
Right.
So like I think when you start from the person, you can never go wrong, and you can go home and you can sleep at night.
Right,
Yeah.
and you're okay because you know you
okay.
did the best for that person. Something else I think about in learning about insurance, I think about it being a wealth building tool. Like, how can, and I know that's something where you would probably need to sit down and understand how they're trying to build it, but a lot of people, like, there's so many plans, right? There's term life, there's whole life, there's IULs, you know, where people are building wealth and they're taking that money and investing in properties and things like that. Like, as a person that wants to build wealth, right? Where do you start? Like, would you start with a conversation with someone like you and then say, hey, what are you trying to do? And then go from there? Or like, what can a person do to get started?
Like building wealth through insurance. And here's the thing, like all insurance agents, they're going to not like me for saying this right here. You don't start with building wealth from insurance. It's a lot of things you should do. Like I'll suggest getting an RA, getting some qualified things right there. So I suggest, and I don't do that. But being that I care about the person wholly,
because you're saying that some people, like, we're not saying no names, but some insurance agents, they will say product based versus saying, hey, like you as a person, I'm going to give you the real deal instead of saying, hey, like you should buy my product. Like, like you're telling people the truth about.
The truth, I network and I collaborate with a lot of people. So what I just said, I got at least 10, 15 financial advisors that had took some extremely hard tests, and they have great high ethics, and they don't care about going viral on TikTok, and they got credentials, and I respect credentials, right? So I will suggest that a lot of times and say, hey, go and ask me, do I get paid for that? No, I don't. Right. But it's taking care of the person. Then once you get that done and get certain things in place, now come back here. So like as an independent broker, I can kind of dispel a lot of stuff because, one side gonna say this and one side gonna say that. It's like, I don't care who, like I'm gonna listen to your side, your individual customer, and, not allow the marketing thing have a emotional sensationalism effect on me.
Okay. So I love that. So my thing is, what is the most rewarding part about being in this, building this company from the ground up? 4 years, right? 4 years, just celebrated. So tell us about the most rewarding part of doing this.
Helping people when they most need it, and creating solutions to their problem, and getting a lot of Google reviews. And people calling me directly saying how much I helped them, and just getting referred out, not only in this state, in other states. Those things there is like extremely rewarding, and it's not like it's not a dollar amount. Like the insurance industry is like very, like it's a revolving door. People come in, they get the license, and they gone, right? So they come in, right? So like everybody and mom and daddy do life insurance, and that's one of the reasons why we don't live life insurance, because it's like it just it can consume a lot of time.
Right.
But like there are certain companies, agency that I know and contracted with, and I super respect. So like there's many different levels. Like I'm not in it. Do I make money off my service? Absolutely. But I'm not chasing a dollar amount. And maybe this may not be appropriate, but like this, I remember this one life insurance company, they was recruiting me, and I just never forget. Like I do like a lot of reading, I do a lot of self development, and I like to be sold. Right. Like I'm an entrepreneur, so like I like to be sold, right? But I just never forget, like in not saying I have like a love-hate, but like the person on the phone, like I'm not gonna even tell a gender, like the person on the phone, I'm like, all right, like tell me what you got. Yeah. And they led with, I made $100. I never forget this number. I made $168,000 last year. And I'm like, oh great, congratulations. No, so like they led with that, in which I think unfortunately, like a lot of life insurance
people are motivated.
People
are
motivated.
That.
People want that change in their life, and they feel emotional. So, to somebody who's trained, to somebody who read a lot about sales, to somebody that's like a student of like sales, like I will never get that, because I was like, what, like. Who told you? But people like that, they get trained, and it's like you really don't know how to sell. So so
without getting to know the person.
Right. So that's me going down a path, but like that's just me, where it's like I'm not motivated by that. Like that's not like, oh wow.
At the end of the day, I think, going to your point, I've tried a lot of that too. Like the multi-level marketing, nothing to bash anybody. Yeah. But also
that's
like
great
it's
out
great,
there.
but the passion is not there. If you're chasing a dollar, it's never gonna last. Right. It never will. It will dissolve. Like in my opinion, like there's been a lot of people that have been led by money and great with money, and they're motivated by that. But like at the end of the day, what about what in your heart, like the purpose behind it? Like, do you feel like you're fulfilled? Like you're making the money, but are you fulfilled?
Right. It's funny. Like I don't knock that person, because that person probably got 20 more agents about that same tire pitch. But like I'm not knocking that person, but like it just
it's not. But that's what I deal with in mental health. Like people feel empty.
Yeah, they feel empty, and they may be taken advantage of. But
that's another story for another day.
Like I just encourage people to read, educate yourself, because because I tell my clients like this right here. Even though I am the professional, my job is to give you the confidence, because you are your biggest advocate. Right. Like, as much as I want to be your advocate for you, I am. Yeah. But at the end of the day, because when you go in your doctor's office, I cannot go everywhere with you and internalize things with you. Right. Now, granted, that will be great, and then I'd be like, well, no, call and make sure this on the formulary, stuff like that. But my job, even though I am a fiduciary and I have certain levels of responsibility that I take greatly, but my job is to equip you to be your best advocate. Right. So to answer your question, what's another thing, when people call me and say, I'm glad you told me that or taught me that, because that then allowed me to not make this situation that would have, derail, siphoned up my funds and stuff like that. But sorry to go on a tangent.
No, I love that. I love that. It's a passion. The passion, I love it. So how can people get in touch with you? Like, I know you talked about your first step is getting to know the person. Right. What are their needs? And I love that. I think that's purpose. That's purpose talking. Like, not even like me starting my own company, but you're like, what is your need? I'm servicing people, helping people. So how do people get in touch with you? How can they connect with you? And so if anybody's out there that needs insurance, like you say, you care about people. And I think that's what makes you different.
Yeah, so how to get in touch with me. All right, so I'm about this big blimp. It's going to be really big. I'll have my name. No, I'm joking. All right, so you can call me directly. Actually, I do have a 1-800 number. I don't remember off the top of my head. So here's my company cell phone number, which it is 803-487-0477. You can contact me directly, and also you can go to our website at www.onecommunityinsurance.com. And when you go there, you can see the many different products that we take, and then also you can fill out the get in contact, which it would go to our back office. And also another email for my newest assistant. Her name is Grace. She managed our admin account and do a lot of admin work. Her email is admin, admin.
ADMIN.
Right, yeah. So I am in insurance. Now, I'm not claiming to be like the best better. Yeah, so it's admin at onecommunityinsurance.com. And that's how you can get in contact with me.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Candice Moffitt on the call. We've talked about insurance, we talked about passion, and we talked about purpose, having purpose behind life. Know that you can change your life one step at a time, one day at a time.
Nice. Thank you.
All right, that was good,
Yeah,
man.
that's good.